Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to discuss Greek philosophy. All right, Greek philosophy. So, in some of the last classes, I talked about philosophy. Do you remember the definition of philosophy? And where does the word philosophy come from?
From Greek,
From
Greece. I
the
mean,
word
from Greece,
philo.
from
Philo
the
philo means love, and
and
Sophia.
Sophia.
Sophia,
Sophia means wisdom.
wisdom,
Wisdom.
So philosophy means love of
wisdom.
wisdom. So do you know who invented philosophy? Who invented? In which country?
Greece.
In Greece,
In Greece.
uh,
In Greece. Yes,
yes,
in Greece. Philosophy first originated in Greece. Basically, philosophy, what does it mean? It means thinking about the world. All right. And making
yes,
sense
sir.
out of it. If you think deeply about the world, about the existence, about so many things, that means you are a philosopher. So philosophy was the particular way that the Greeks, they actually uh, tried to know the answers to some unanswerable questions by using philosophy. And of course, uh, I mean, the way was non-religious. All right. So philosophical way is not a religious way, actually. It is a non-religious way. It does not mean that philosophers are against religion. Okay. They are not against religion. All right. So philosophers at that time in Greece, they used their intelligence, their wisdom, and logical skills. As I told you earlier, it is the study of knowledge, study of reality, and study of existence. Philosophers ask questions to open topics of discussion and to make people think. If anyone asks you a philosophical question, that means you stop and you start to think. For example, if anyone asks you, uh, is there any ghost? Ghost, you know, ghost.
Yes, sir.
In Bangla, we
Both.
call bhoot, right? So if anyone asks you, is there any ghost? So it is a philosophical question. Then you start to think. You, in your mind, you start to find out the answer. So a philosophical question always makes us think. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So obviously, the Greek philosophers, the Greek philosophers were seekers, that means searchers and lovers of wisdom. They loved, they loved wisdom. They loved intelligence. What is happening? A cow is mowing. From whose side? Can you listen to a cow, you know?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't know whose side it is coming from. Anyway, so um, they studied the philosophers, Greek philosophers. They studied and analyzed the world around them by using logic and reason. They were so logical. Okay, they tried to convince the people by using logic and logical argument. You know, in Bangla, Jukti Torko. So people at that time, the common people, they were influenced by the Greek philosophers because the questions of the philosophers at that time were so logical and so intelligent, and the people started to respect the Greek philosophers at that time. Although we often think of philosophy as religion or meaning of life, the Greek philosophers were also scientists. All right. So it means that anyone can be a scientist and also a philosopher. All right. It does not mean that, one person is a philosopher, he's philosopher only. No, a philosopher can also be a scientist. A scientist can also be a philosopher. Many philosophers in Greece studied mathematics and physics. Often the philosophers were teachers of wealthy, rich, you know, children. So in Greece, there were, of course, so many rich people, elite people. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. At that time, there were many rich people in the society. So the philosophers, the Greek philosophers, they were the teachers of the children of those rich people. You know, tutors.
Yes, of course.
All right. And some of the more famous teachers then opened their own schools or academies. For example, some of you are also tutors. Am I right? You do tuitions.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, in Greece, at that time, the philosophers, they were the tutors of the children of the children of the rich people, and they also opened their own schools or academies.
Correct, sir.
Suppose Aziz, if Aziz opens a school, I mean the similar thing. Do you understand, Aziz? Nilofa?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. না না
Uh,
আমি খাবো না এক্ষুনি
the
যেতে লিয়াতে বাসে
it's noisy. Noise is coming. Could you please keep quiet? Okay. Now, the ancient Greeks thought about philosophy as
খাবো না
art. Someone is talking. Okay. Whose side is the noise coming from? Any idea? Anyone?
দেখি স্যার কি বল
Please keep quiet. Don't talk to another person when you are attending the class, because it creates noise. All right. So everyone, please pay attention. Now, as I am saying, the ancient Greeks, the Greek people, then thought that philosophy is an art. All right. So philosophy is an art. And the philosophers were freely asking questions. But some things in ancient Greece could not be questioned. That means the Greek philosophers of that time, they had no permission to question, to ask questions about some particular things. In a society, in a country, uh, we have to follow some rules and regulations, right? There is
Yes.
government, there is administration, police. So we have to obey the law. So when the government says, do not do this, then you have to obey, otherwise there is punishment. So at that time in Greece, there were, you know, some things, some particular things that the philosophers did not have permission to ask questions about. For example, there was no permission for the philosophers to ask questions about the gods, about the gods, Greek gods. All right. So, however, one famous philosopher, he asked questions about almost anything and everything. Do you remember his name? A famous Greek philosopher. Anyone?
Socrates. Yeah.
Socrates. Socrates. Exactly, Mohit. You are spot on. You are right. Socrates. Socrates, he asked questions about everything, almost everything. And he had to face many problems because of that. So he ignored the law. He did not obey the law. Government says don't ask questions about these things. But Socrates asked questions about those things. So the government, you know, the what should I say? I mean, the people, those who were in power, the authority of that time became angry. So two other famous Greek philosophers were there. Can you name them? Do you remember? One is Socrates, okay. Then
Aristotle and Plato.
Plato and Aristotle.
Yes.
Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Great. So Plato and Aristotle, they were actually students of Socrates. Remember, Plato and Aristotle were the students of Socrates. So normally, some questions that a philosopher might ask. Question number one: is our government working? It is a philosophical question. Is our government working? Question number 2. What does it mean to be beautiful? When I say it's a beautiful day, what does it mean actually? So it's a philosophical question. What makes something music? Who is the most, next question, who is the most important person in your classroom? In your classroom, who is the most important person? If I ask a question, then you suddenly start to think, okay, it's a different kind of question. Yes, who is the most important person in your classroom, or in my classroom? So this kind of question, or these kinds of questions, are philosophical questions. The last question: should asking some questions be against the law? If I ask some questions about the government, will it be against the law? What do you think? Anyone?
No, sir. I think it's not. It won't be against the law.
So according to Aziz, if I ask a question about the government, then it's not against the law. But if I ask a question about a law, all right, about any particular law, if I say, no, this law is bad, government should remove this law, it is harmful for the society, for the people. If I ask a question about a particular law, so will it be against the law? Anyone else? Can you answer? From the girls? Hello? No one?
Sir, what, sir?
uh, I have said that if I ask a question about a law, that this law is bad, okay, this law is bad and the government should remove this law, so will it be against the law? That will it be uh, proved that I am a criminal?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir. Sir, as we live in a democratic country, so we can ask such question if we don't like a law, and if we feel that the law is not uh, accurate or not right. So I think, sir, we can ask question like this, that the law is not right.
But if there is a law that, okay, government says this is the law, if anyone asks any questions, if anyone says this is a bad law, if anyone protests against this law, then we will arrest you. Then
Uh, Maybe in this situation we have to struggle, and we have to
you have to struggle together, or you can keep quiet, right? There are two options:
yes, sir.
either you have to keep
Either we
quiet,
have to keep quiet, or we have to struggle
or you have
with
to
unity.
protest. Yes,
Yes, sir. Protest.
you have to protest together on the streets, on the
Yes,
roads, and to change the situation, right?
right, sir. Yes.
All right, so these are all philosophical types of questions. So the second question was, what does it mean to be beautiful? You see, if I ask this question to Mohi, what does it mean to be beautiful? That means what is beauty? Mohi will say, okay, this is beauty. This is called beauty. Nilufa may say, if anything has these qualities, then we call it beautiful. So, what do you think, Mohi? What does it mean to be beautiful?
Yes, sir.
If I say the girl is beautiful, what does it mean?
She looks beautiful, and maybe
She
her
looks beautiful.
behavior beautiful.
She looks beautiful to me, right?
Her behavior
Okay.
beautiful, and her
She
and
looks
he has quality.
she looks beautiful to me, right?
Yeah,
But she may not be beautiful to Aziz. Aziz, do you understand?
Yes, sir, of course.
yeah,
The girl is beautiful to me. Okay, she looks beautiful to me, but Aziz may say, no, no, I don't like her. Yes or no?
yeah. It can happen.
Because Aziz has
Yes,
his
sir.
own way of looking at beauty, right?
Yeah,
And
perspective. It depends on
perspective,
perspective.
yes, Nipa or Nilufa may say, no, she's beautiful, but not so much.
It can vary
Imon,
person to person.
yes,
Yeah,
Imon will say, yes, she's perfect.
yeah,
So you see, from one person to another,
yeah,
beauty, the definition of beautiful or the definition of beauty, it changes, it varies. All right.
yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a philosophical question.
Yeah,
Next, the early Greek philosophers, they began to ask the question, what exists? You know, it is it is a question about the existence. Do you remember the branches of philosophy? There
Yes,
are
sir.
6 branches. Do you remember the
Milap,
technique,
Milap.
me lab technique?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Milap.
wait for a second. I am sharing a screen. All right. Can you see this? See this image? Can you see this photo?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right
Yes,
now
sir.
we can see.
Clear, right? Everyone,
Yes, sir.
girls,
Clear.
the girls.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
All right, great. So remember MeLab, MeeLAP. Remember M for metaphysics. Is it there in the picture?
Yes, sir.
Metaphysics. Metaphysics.
It's in here.
Metaphysics ask questions about the reality. What is real? Can you see the question? What is real? Metaphysics. Then E, ethics. What is of value? You know, ethics, morality. In Bangla, noitikota. Then where is another E? Epistemology. Can you see? Epistemology.
Yes, sir. Epistemology.
What is the question under it? How do we
How do
know?
we know?
That means epistemology asks question about knowledge. All right. Epistemology asks questions about knowledge. Then L. Where is L? L for
Logic.
logic. Logic. So here the philosophers ask question like how do we reason? That means how do we logically come to a conclusion, come to a solution, or how can we logically find the answers to some questions. Then A for aesthetics. Here the philosophers ask questions about beauty. What is beauty? What is beautiful? What does it mean to be beautiful? Then last P for last one, political philosophy. Here the philosophers ask questions like how should societies be governed? What is the best way to govern a society? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Is democracy the best way? Is kingship is the best way? Or is autocracy like Hitler? Is autocracy in Bangla Shoira Charita? Is autocracy is the best way to govern a country, to govern a society? So these are philosophical questions. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, can you see? Okay. So at that time, other different philosophies were also developing in Greece. And these early philosophers, you know, philosophers are also thinkers. They think. So they were so influential. The people, common people of that time, they were much influenced by these Greek thinkers or philosophers. And their ideas, their philosophies are still used today. The earliest Greek philosophers tried to answer the question of what exists by coming up with many different ideas. For example, the earliest Greek philosophers, they talked about the four elements. I must say that the earliest Greek philosophers, the earliest Greek philosophers, by this term, I mean to say that, you know, the philosophers before Socrates. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The philosophers who came before Socrates. Number one, Thales, Thales, Thales. Thales, don't worry about the note, I will share it in the group, maybe today. So Thales, he was a Greek mathematician, astronomer, and pre-Socratic philosopher from Miletus in Ionia, Asia Minor. And this philosopher, Thales, he believed that everything was made up of water. You see, I told you a philosopher is a thinker. If you think deeply and if you try to find out the answer, the solution, that means you are a philosopher. So Thales at that time, he deeply thought about humans, about animals, about birds, plants, etc. And he believed that everything in the world was made up of water. And I mean, logically, he is not wrong. Do you agree? Water is everywhere. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Our human body, 72% is water.
Yes, sir.
All right. Uh, the world is full of water. You know, sea, river, ocean.
So most of the portion of the world are made of water.
What even if you for example, leaves, leaves in the trees. In
Yes, sir.
Bangla, pata. If you just what should I say? I mean, if you take some leaves and crush crush them, and then there will be paste, right? Paste, paste.
So what do you mean by paste?
I mean, for example, in Bangla, you say mehdi pata. The girls, they crush the leaves, then they make paste.
ব্লেন্ডার মতো আর কি স্যার।
Yes, yes.
Blending.
If you blend some leaves, then what does it look like? What does the remaining part look like? The
It
same
looks like
leaves
liquid,
or
sir.
watery
It looks like liquid.
paste? Watery liquid, right? It looks like watery or liquid. Do you understand? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you see, it proves that water is everywhere, even in the air. Is there water?
Of course, sir.
Okay. In the
Oxygen
sky,
we see.
in the sky, clouds are water, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Thales believed that everything was made up of water. And he had a student. Thales, the philosopher Thales had a student. His name was Anaximander. And his student Anaximander thought that everything was made up of an element called the boundless. The boundless. And it was divided up into hot and cold, and wet and dry. So Thales, his student Anaximander, thought that everything was made up of 4 elements. Okay. Number 1, earth. Number 2, air. Number 3, fire. And number 4, water. Can you hear?
Yes, sir. I can hear.
So everything was made up of 4 elements. Number 1, earth. Number 2, air. Number 3, fire. Number 4, water. So if you just look at the world, earth is there. Earth in Bangla, mati, soil. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Okay. Then air is there.
This is a must for us, sir, for
Okay.
this time.
Then fire is there. Fire.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Fire is there. Fire is, even when it rains, thunderstorms are similar to fire, right? We can call the thunderstorms fire. Then water. Water is there. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
You see,
This is another crucial element of our
yes.
existence.
So the philosophers, they thought deeply and they knew about all these things. Then in mathematics, there was a Greek philosopher. You must know, this is a common name, Pythagoras.
Yes, sir.
Pythagoras.
Yes, sir.
Pythagoras was a Greek philosopher and he established Pythagoreanism. So he came before Socrates and he influenced the philosophies of Plato, Aristotle, and also others. Actually, he thought that it is possible to explain the whole world with numbers. You know, mathematicians deal with numbers. So Pythagoras, he believed that we can explain the whole world with numbers. Okay. What does it mean? Any idea? We can explain the whole world with numbers. Anyone? Hello? Say yes or no.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
again, sir. Question time.
Pythagoras believed that we can explain the whole world, we can explain everything by using numbers.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain what does it mean?
Sir, maybe use of the mathematics.
Yes, by using mathematics. Just give me an example. For example,
Sir, the speed of light, they measure it with the number,
the
the kilometer.
speed of light.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Then
distance between sun and moon,
the
the distance
distance.
between the sun and the earth.
Then uh, the world. What should I say?
Even our day-night cycle,
Length,
24 hours a day.
yes, the length and the breadth of the world. You know, Durgo, Prostho. Yes. So moon is right. I hope you understand. Everyone else.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is what Pythagoras believed. Then there is another very important point. It is called atoms. 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 Atom. What is atom? Any idea?
Paramanu.
Atom.
It's a kind of power that destroys everything.
It's a like type of matter.
Moon,
Very little point,
Moon, can
I
you
think.
speak louder?
It's some kind of chemical element, like it a matter.
Sir, it's a molecule.
Molecule. So what is molecule?
It's a chemical molecule, and because of these atoms, like mercury is made, mercury is formed, then helium is formed. All the chemical compounds are formed.
So we can say small element, right?
It's a very little element of any part.
A very little element, and very little element. So many little elements make up
Yeah,
or create something big.
yeah,
For example, sand. Sand in Bangla, Bali.
Bali, yeah.
So there is one, then there is 2, 3, 4,
ছোট ছোট বালিকণার বিন্দু বিন্দু জল। Yes, sir.
little pieces of sands, right?
Yes, sir.
Together, you see, there may be a mountain. Similarly, 1 drop of water, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, may become a canal, a pond, may become a lake, a sea, right? So atoms, around 450 BC, there were 2 philosophers, Leucippus, philosopher Leucippus, and he was the earliest Greek philosopher who talked about the theory of atomism. And what is atomism? He believed that everything is composed or everything is created entirely of various immortal, inseparable elements called atoms. So, according to Leucippus, philosopher, he believed that atoms are immortal. Atoms don't die, and we cannot separate the atoms. And another philosopher, his name was Democritus. Democritus, he created an atomic theory of the universe. They together thought that the world was created by little particles, little elements, which were so small that we could not even see them. Do you understand what I am saying? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What does it mean actually? It means everything is created by using so little elements, and we cannot see those elements with our eyes. So this is called atomic theory. All right. Can you give an example? Anyone?
Sir,
A
if you break,
building. Sir.
A building is created. We cannot create or construct a building suddenly, right? We cannot
Yes, sir.
use our magical power or something like that within 1 second or 2 minutes. We cannot do. So what to do? We have to create or construct a building little by little, right?
Yes, sir.
and we have to use, small elements uh, together
Like
Brick.
bricks,
unifiedly, bricks,
sands, cements,
even
rods,
even a brick.
everything.
Yes, even a brick is also made up of little elements. Do you
Elements.
agree?
Yes, sir. Of
Yes,
course,
If
sir.
you break a
Yes, sir.
brick,
Whenever we break down a brick,
there,
we get some little pieces.
little pieces,
Yeah.
or
Yes, sir.
powdery pieces.
Yes, sir.
So you see, the philosophers in Greece at that time, they were so clever, so intelligent. You see, they talked about the atomic theory many years ago. Even now, the scientists, they follow them. The scientists now at present, they follow the Greek philosophers. So you see how influential the Greek philosophers are. Okay. So next point is about the sophists. Sophist, Sophists. Sophists. Now, who were the sophists? Around 450 BC, there were some philosophers, and we call them sophists. I spell it out again: Sophists. Sophists. Sophists, these philosophers, they thought that man is the measure of everything. Man is the measure of everything. They believe that the only things that matter are human beings and the way we see the world. What does it mean? It means that in this world, human beings are the most important, what should I say, are the most important elements. If we compare human beings with animals, with trees, with everything else, so human beings are superior. So according to the sophists thought or believed that human beings are more important than other things or other beings. Do you understand this much? Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right. So they they had students, the philosophers, they had students, and they taught their students that they should use their logic, intelligence to succeed in life. If you want to be successful in life, you have to use logic, you have to be intelligent, then you can prosper. And they also believed, the sophists, these philosophers, sophists, they also believed that there is an important difference between man-made things and naturally made things. They believed that natural things, natural products were better than man-made ones. Do you agree with this philosophy, this thinking? Natural things, natural products are better than man-made ones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of
Of
course.
course, sir.
For example,
Mm.
Just tell me the name of a natural thing. Natural anything, fruit, food item, anything.
Natural gas.
Anything else?
Natural water.
What?
Water.
Water.
Natural water.
Water
Yeah.
is a natural product, right?
Yeah.
So water is good for us. So
Yeah.
a man-made thing like
Sir.
wine,
Beer.
beer,
Yeah.
wine,
Yeah.
good or bad?
Pepsi. Coca-Cola.
Good or bad?
Bad.
One is bad for us, sir. Bad for human beings.
All right. Even
Coca-Cola also.
yes. Even these soft drinks are
Yeah.
also bad for health.
Harmful.
Yes. So I am now going to talk about the great Greek philosophers. Three great Greek philosophers. Number one, Socrates. Number two, Plato. And number three, Aristotle. I will take maybe 7 minutes. All right. After that, I'll finish it up. So Socrates was one of the most influential philosophers of all time. Do you know who the father of philosophy or father of Greek philosophy is? Any idea? Who is the father of philosophy or father of Greek philosophy?
Socrates. Sir.
Socrates. Socrates is the father of philosophy, or he is the father of Greek philosophy. And actually, he disagreed. He did not agree with the Sophists. You know, I have talked about the Sophists few seconds ago. Sophists were also philosophers. But Socrates did not agree with the Sophists. Why? Because the Sophists, they charged their students money. Socrates thought that it is immoral, you know, unethical to to take money from the students. The Sophists, they taught the students and received money, but Socrates did not take any money from the students. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And Socrates believed that the Sophists did not teach the students how to be ethical, how to be moral. So, according to Socrates, morality, ethics, these are important. If you want to live your life happily, you must be moral, you must be a good human being and ethical. So Socrates, he asked question, for example, what is right and wrong? If I ask a question, what is right and what is wrong? It is a philosophical question. All right? It is very tough to answer. It may look easy, it looks easy, but it is a tough question. Why? Because something is right to me, but it may not be right to you. It may be wrong to you. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
To me, if I do something, if I say, no, it's right, it's okay, there is nothing wrong. But to you, you know that I am wrong. But I believe that no, what I am doing is right. Any example can you give? Anyone? If you cannot, just say no, I will help you.
No, sir.
Okay, just suppose uh, in your village, all right, in your village, if a person plucks some mangoes from the neighbor's tree, the neighbor is not there, okay, the house is empty, the neighbors are not here, you know, for many years they do not live here, they are somewhere else. So the home is there, and there is a mango tree, so there, I mean, the tree is full of ripe mangoes. So if you go and pluck all the mangoes, and if you tell others, it's okay, it's right, no problem if I collect all those mangoes and eat them, you know, share them with my family members, it's okay, there is nothing wrong, because the mangoes will be rotten, someone else will steal them, so I can pluck them, I can collect the mangoes, I'm the neighbor, I have the right. So if he says, is it logical, is it correct, or is it wrong?
So this is wrong.
The girls,
So I think he is logical.
there is nothing wrong,
Sir?
there is nothing wrong here.
There is wrong, but most of the portion are logical.
Any other ideas?
So maybe he thought his own method, but this is not logical. I
This is
think
not
this is
logical.
illegal.
This is illegal, and this is stealing. In Bangla, churi, right?
Right, sir.
So without the permission of the owner,
হুজুরের পাশে নাই
without the permission of the owner, you are collecting all the mangoes for yourself and your family members. This is illegal, this is unethical, immoral. But to him, it is correct. It is
স্যার
not,
আই থিঙ্ক দিস ইজ ইলিগাল ফর অ্যাডাল্ট not for children.
not for the children.
Yeah.
No, I am saying is a child may pluck 1 or 2 mangoes, no problem. All right. Because a child does not have the idea of right and wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But if an adult person collects all the mangoes, then is it right or wrong?
This is completely
Wrong,
wrong,
sir.
sir.
Totally wrong.
So this is wrong, but Aziz is saying
Yeah.
this is right. So actually, Aziz, I think Aziz collects,
Maybe Aziz Bhai is stealing the
maybe
mangoes.
Aziz has a habit
No,
of
sir.
collecting.
Sir,
Maybe
all the mango,
he didn't get the point.
sir, all the mangoes will be rotten. That's why we don't want to waste any
No,
fruits.
even if all the mangoes rot, all right, someone does not have the right to, you know, take all the mangoes for their own use. They can ask for the permission, they can call the neighbor. All right, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. Yes, sir. All right, sir.
So this is very important.
Yes, sir.
This is
I got
called
your point.
morality. Okay, so next is Socrates. Do you know how Socrates died?
Execution, by execution.
Socrates was sentenced to death. The government
Yeah.
of
Yes,
that
sir.
time, was not happy with Socrates. Socrates was so popular, and you know, if a person becomes popular, uh, so many enemies are created. Yes or no?
Yes,
Of
sir.
course, sir.
Yes, sir.
People become jealous. People become jealous. So at that time, Socrates had so many enemies, and government blamed him. Government said that Socrates was uh, corrupting the young people, and Socrates was disrespecting, was not respecting the gods. So Socrates was sentenced to death, death penalty, and he was, uh, I should say, he accepted. Socrates accepted the punishment, and he drank hemlock. Hemlock, HEMLOCK, hemlock.
Poison.
It's a
A kind of
poison.
poison. A kind of poison, sir.
Yes, Socrates drank a cup of poison and died. So it was his punishment. So his student was Plato. Now I'm going to talk something about Plato. Socrates did not write down his own philosophies. Socrates did not write any books, but his student Plato wrote many books. And for example, Plato's book, The Republic. The Republic. It is a book written by Plato. It is still now one of the famous books. So in this book, Plato discussed about justice. What is justice? About the government. What is the right type of government? Okay. About all these things Plato discussed in this book. The name of the book, I'm telling again, The Republic. So now I'm talking about Aristotle. Aristotle was the student of Plato. He wrote many important philosophical books. Aristotle wrote about all types of learning. For example, logic, metaphysics, astronomy, physics, politics, and poetry. All right. So you see, there were philosophers who thought about different branches. Plato thought deeply about justice, about the government system. Aristotle thought deeply about logic, about physics, politics, poetry. All right, Pythagoras, another philosopher, he thought deeply about mathematics. So you see, different philosophers, they thought about different things. So according to Aristotle, we should always maintain the golden mean. Golden mean, MEAN. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
According to Aristotle, it is good to follow the golden mean. Golden mean means middle ground between good and bad. If you want to be happy in life, you have to make a balance between good and bad. What Aristotle means is, if you are very good, this is also This is also troublesome or not so good for you. If you are very good, and if you are very bad, it is also not expected. So can you give me an example? What he meant, Aristotle, when he said you have to make a balance between good and bad? Okay, I give you another example. If you eat too much, is it good or bad?
Bad, sir.
Bad, sir. Bad for health.
If you eat less, good or bad?
It is also bad, sir.
But
Bad, sir.
even we can survive.
If you
Bad for you.
drink too much water, good or bad? Good or bad?
Bad, sir.
Good, sir. Good,
No,
sir.
too much water.
No, no. Too much water is very bad.
You are drinking. Good or bad?
Sir, good.
How can it be good? Suppose if I tell you drink 5 liters of water now in 2 minutes, so will it be
No, sir. Impossible.
good or bad for your health?
Sir,
Sir,
bad.
sir, human belly capacity approximately 4 liter. So that
So
5
if I
liter.
tell you drink 6 liters now,
No, sir.
so
It is
if you
It
try,
will be very
so
bad.
it will make you sick, right?
Yeah.
So if you drink less water in a day, good or bad?
bad, sir.
Bad.
Bad for
Bad.
your health. So you have to make a balance, right?
Right,
Don't
Balance.
sir. Right,
don't
sir.
drink too much, don't drink too less, just make a balance. So Aristotle called it the golden mean. Make a balance in life, then you will be happy. So there were other Greek philosophers, for example, Epicurus, and there is another philosopher from that age, Zeno, Zeno. Okay, so this is a very brief introduction to the Greek philosophy. Now I am going to show you some pictures. Can you see the picture?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can see.
Who is he?
Socrates.
Is he Socrates, Aristotle, or Plato?
Socrates.
No,
Socrates.
no.
Sir,
He is not.
Aristotle.
Sure?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Actually, he is Aristotle. All right. So I am going to share another photo now. Just wait a minute. Who is this person?
Aristotle.
Sir, Plato.
Sir, Plato.
The first picture was of Aristotle. Now this is the second picture. Who is he? Plato or Socrates?
I
Plato.
think Plato, sir.
Sir, Plato.
Plato. Yes, you are right, Plato. Now I'm going to show you another photo. Who is he?
Of course, Socrates. I
Socrates.
think.
You see all
Aris-
those bearded faces, right? They were deep thinkers, great philosophers. Now I'm going to show you another photo. What is it? Can you see? Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What
sir.
is going on here?
Yes, sir.
In the middle, there are two persons, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Who are,
sir.
who are, who are they?
Sir, one of them is maybe Pythagoras.
Any,
Sir, I think
Socrates,
so.
Socrates,
No, sir,
Socrates
I
and
think so.
the
So
left,
the first one, the
the left
right
one.
one is,
Hmm.
yeah, the right one is Plato, and the left one is Aristotle.
The left one, who is pointing his finger at the sky, maybe. So older person
mm,
is actually Plato, and the person to his left is Aristotle. The blue colored, what should I say, shawl,
Aristotle. Yeah.
shawl or something.
Yes, sir.
In Bangla, we call
Yeah.
chador. The blue colored shawl, the person with the blue colored shawl is Aristotle, Plato's student. All right. So other people are, some are common people, some are also philosophers. So they were discussing something important. All right. Hello.
yes, sir, right.
Now that's it. Thank you so much. I am finishing up my class here. Regarding your attendance, please write your